It's December 21st, 2010, here in Northern California. It's pretty nice. It's quite green. Temperatures in the high 50s probably. We've had some rain, so it's very green, as you can see. Mystic has been having these videos or talks about I, and lately he's gotten into sort of touching on know thyself and religion. And I made a comment on one that said the First Amendment has been perverted, and I want to explain that because this really bothered me when I went through law school. The First Amendment, let's read it. The First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, okay, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people to peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Now, these things can be, argued about. For example, if we're talking about abridging the freedom of speech, can Congress pass a law saying there shall be no cigarette advertising? That's speech. Or the free exercise. Congress can't pass a law prohibiting the free exercise of religion. Well, suppose it involves human sacrifice. I mean, there's some areas in here that would, you need somebody to interpret those. And I'm not sure it should be the Supreme Court. Thomas Jefferson didn't think the Supreme Court ought to interpret the Constitution. If anybody should, the Congress should. But anyway, I want to get to the examples I gave. Can you have a moment of prayer in a public school? Or no, yeah, that's certainly out. Could you have a moment of silence in a public school in the state of California or Alabama, which is where it occurred? The U.S. Supreme Court has said no. But how does that violate the First Amendment? Congress shall make no law. This wasn't a Congress. Congress didn't pass any law. The other example I gave, there's plenty of examples. The other one I gave was, how can you have a menorah on a public area around Christmas time or Hanukkah, but you can't have a manger scene? It's a fairly famous case. If you want these, I'll probably make a list of all these cases and all their decisions. And this is what kind of depressed me in law school, to see how the states basically have lost so much of their power to the federal government. The other great trend I saw while in law school, besides power going from the states to the federal government, was that within the federal government itself, power is going towards the executive branch, towards an all-powerful president. We're not to an all-powerful president yet, but the presidents are doing things that they didn't used to do. For example, declaring war. I mean, World War II was the last war that was actually declared. The United States has been fighting wars for a long time since then. All right, I'd like, maybe nobody else is interested in this, but it really bothered me because I think it shows that what's basically wrong with the United States of America. It has ceased to become a union of states, sort of a federation, and it has actually become a nation. And it really is not a nation. I mean, we even have the Pledge of Allegiance, one nation under God. We're not a nation. I mean, we were not set up as a nation. They had nations, 13 nations, and they just wanted to join together and have mutual defense and things. Kind of like what Europe was sort of trying to do. And if Europe ever does try to unite, I mean, this might be a problem. I mean, what kind of powers do you want that central authority to have? Do you want them to be able to make any kind of laws regarding religion or speech? I think the nations would want to keep those powers away from the central government. There would probably be some limits, but basically what the states could handle, what the nations, the constituent nations can handle, they should handle. So, and that's my big gripe. If somebody has a comment, I'd like to hear it, but I'd like to see what you think. I mean, does a moment of silence in a public school violate, Congress shall make no law. I don't think so. So, if anybody's interested, leave a comment. We'll take it from there. I've got plenty of stuff on my mind on this. Okay. Hey, keep up the good work, Nick. I think you're doing great.